Get ready.
Got another of our steam engines now approaching.
I don't know how true that is.
No, it's actually the oldest vehicle on the run this year. It's back in 1901. It was built by our company,
Let's see him reverse it and see how good he is.
Or to this particular example, spent all his working days in Edinburgh in the docks of the with a company who operated around the shipyards, and it had really a very long life up in that part of the world. It was certainly active until the 1960s and 70s. It finally went into preservation in the later part of the last century, and its major overhaul in the mid-1990s. It has made several London to Brighton runs, because these heavy haulage locomotives were designed to haul the heaviest loads that could be hauled on the highways. The railways moved most of the goods around the country, but they didn't have a loading gauge, and if there was a large indivisible load, like say a large component for a ship, road haulage and engines of this sort, working with specially built trailers, would do the haulage work. And this one is acted today by Ian Langley from Krober, who cares for this engine. The tricks of the trade.
Got no brakes in it, so he's pushed it and it started up on its own and runs. The crane at the back of his brand spanking new lorry, into the top of the cabin in. And that's the one his son traces that lorry. He went and mentioned doing a little
alive to keep these optics running.
Oh, look at that.
The first of our fire appliances to arrive with us. This is Henry Shrimpton up at Banstead with his 1950 AC Region 3 fire appliance. This one spent all its working life on the Isle of Man, stationed at Douglas, as a major pump escape. You can see the escape ladder, that's an all-metal escape ladder on the back. If they arrived and they needed to get to the top of a building, that would come off the back of the appliance, be wheeled across, and then the fireman could climb up it to get it there. It came over to the UK back in 72, and it had a peculiar number plate on it, but it's got its actual age back again now, and Henry's had this since 2007. Now we have a couple of picture trucks leading the way in the dark green livery of the 1946 Bedford MLT dockside. That's how we made this work. Turned out and showed what the work on it. And behind we have entry G1. Now this is the 1956 Bedford AC or A series Bedford. This one was purchased from someone who had showed the event, but it's an original Scammell, what they call a Scammell Bedford unit. It's actually a tractor unit with a Scammell coupling fitted on the back of it. It's got a Perkins P6 engine, which is actually carried from new. And P1 went back to the Morris with small truck.
They pulled well, most of what they were. Didn't have a lot of speed.
A 1956 Morris dray type, quite an early example of the dray type. The barn find in the lockup in the 1980s, and it's entered by Neil Hardy
Hawley in Surrey, so it's virtually come past his front door on the way down to Brighton. The nice, very original looking van, that one.
Following in behind that with the BEA, British European Airlines name on the side of it. The time.
Yeah, it's another one that rusted quite well.
Yes, they were renowned for rusted.
Oh wow, that one is a huge one. Huge, 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 huge.
Now the very big Scamel recovery unit. This is built by the famous Scamel company up in Rockford. And believe it or not, this was actually built for the Canadian Army and was used as heavy recovery by that company, by the Canadian Army. Very unusual, very heavy duty crane on the back. The one that's a regular attender at rallies down here in the south of England.
And the less corn make the Dodge, which featured quite well in the 50s, 60s, into the 70s period. This one is what was almost the standard cab for medium-sized trucks at the time. You will see the similar design cab on several manufacturers' vehicles, and another way of producing the right thing at a reasonable cost. Now we have another variety of commercial vehicle, the horse box. This is a 1952 Bedford OLAZ model, long wheelbase, same engine and gearbox unit as in all the others, but bodied by Vincent's of Reading. Yes, we saw a Vincent's of Reading body a short while ago on the Belsize of 1912. Well, here they are, some 40 years later, doing what has been their bread and butter work for many years, building horse boxes. This one could take 3 horses through, and it went into use down in the Gloucestershire area. Quite useful. Something you can actually use. Take the horse for a ride.
Then we go back to another later Bedford, this one, the 1958. Gary Fitz from up at Staines. And this is the Bedford D type. It had a limited production run of only about 17 months. And there was only about just under 38,000 of them built across the complete range. And it may well be the only long wheelbase one still with its 300 cubic inch Bedford diesel engine in it, in preservation. It's always a bit strange with this design of Bedford with the engine out in front of the cab. Usually with a commercial vehicle, the bigger space you can have at the back, the more loading you can have.
One of the nice things about everyone is
It's in table oils colours. It's traction unit with a trailer on it, and as it came down, there's another very distinctive sound of that comma three-stroke diesel engine. They had a sound all of their own. There was no other vehicle that sounded like, and you'll hear it as it pulls away. Very, very distinctive sound. And same with Comma, Graham Wright from Canterbury.
Probably a two-story arrangement time for moving sheep, cows and things of that nature. And very often the bodies were made so they could be actually lifted off the vehicle, and the vehicle would have more than one body so they could be used for various purposes. This one is a QX Comma 1958. We're in Northern, quite a long trip down here. And came with the six-stroke diesel engine, which was a very successful
Now we've got another rare fire appliances, Gary Pritchard, absolutely beautiful Ford fire engine dated from 1937. This one was supplied new to R.A. Lister and company down at Jersey in Gloucestershire. They used to build engines before we had sort of electricity everywhere. They used to build little engines that used to drive water pumps, generate electricity and everything, and it was their works appliance. It then spent some time, or it changed hands, and it went to Burnbeck Island, which is up in Weston-super-Mare, and it sat on the end of the pier for a long, long time with the ravages of the weather getting at it, but Gary got hold of it and restored it back. It's a tremendous amount of work on it, and it's absolute beauty, it really is.
Now we have in the livery of the Western Sun a 1952 Boeing MG6 Foxy, a fairly small vehicle in total production. This one was used actually with a cast hanger on the back by a road firm in Southampton. Remember these boat entries with their tire tanks come in and spray part of the roads in Sussex. They were quite a familiar sight, rather distinctive vehicle. This one's been restored with a drop-side lorry body by David West in Canterbury.
Now we've got another taxi arrived. All the ones we've seen before have been known as black cabs, so this one's white. This is a Busmaker one, 1997. Body was built by Car Bodies, something like that.
Another small boat, this time an OG46, dating from 1955. It was a brewery lorry in North Nottingham.
Rio on the coast, and this one was another one that the late Prince Marshall actually saved, and it's got what they call an all-weather coach. It had, you can see it here today very correctly with the weather we've got, nice open to get the air through you, but of course then it could actually become enclosed, become a normal coach.
That was followed by a 1964 Land Rover 9-inch baby tank. One of the
the 1967 Ford D-Series. D-Series are very popular sort of truck, but one thing they scored over the top of the bed of the design is you had a tilt cab. You could actually tilt the whole cab forward to get access to the engine. This one was brand new to the removals company in 1967, and it was actually converted by them to a recovery vehicle in 1986.
these were a stopgap really in the post-war before they moved on to the famous RF type on the Regal 4 chassis in about 1951.
The last one of that little group is another of the Ford D series, one dated from 1980, and this one is entered by Peter Hexel from Hawley, and this one was actually bought by a family-run business from brand new. They kept it for 7 years and then sold on. We don't know quite what happened in the meantime, but back in 2008 it was accidentally found again in the yard, hiding at the back of the bushes. Now the original owners bought it and restored it using a couple of donor lorries, done a complete restoration of it, and it looks absolutely remarkable, body on the back of it, and the workman's hut, and very much working hard on it.
Right, and another steamer with us, and probably explain why I have triple vehicles in the last few minutes. This is Entry R2, a 1910 Burrell gold medal tractor, which spent his working days in Kent. These are like the type of steam engine designed to haul smaller loads. They were particularly popular with smaller contractors and local authorities for doing road repair work where they could move the materials quickly and easily from railheads to their sites. They weren't used very much for very long distance work, but they were also used around some of the northern towns and cities, again for delivering materials to and from the railway stations. This one's owned by Cell Junior from Horsham, very well known, and after they restored it, they decided to give it a real test. They did the journey from Dry Road to Land's End, so it's now known as Midway. It's only got a small trailer, some living accommodation on the back at the moment, but normally would probably have just had an open truck.
Behind that we have an ambulance built in 1972 and on probably one of the most popular chassis that any company has ever produced, the Ford Transit. And this one has been around this area all its working life. It was originally owned by St John's Ambulance and used in the Worthing area. So it went into a private owner, changed it to West Sussex Ambulance Brothers, and my one of the present owners in 2011 nearly many film and TV programmes because, you know, the interior vehicles, this is how they come. One of the famous manufacturers, Land Rovers, the best 4x4 by far they are marketed as, but they certainly are, not by I have got a couple of them. This one dates from 1973, it's a Series 3, 109 inch. It's now being bred to a tow truck, and it spent many years working for a small village garage down in Devon. Used to recover vehicles from the Whisket Park hill climb.
In the delivery of the mould for the 1987 Bedford TL. This was the later model of the Bedford. In fact, we had the moulds slightly earlier version. Number 5, which is the KF of 1980. Bedfords and cords were the mainstay of the general market for smaller trucks, particularly builder trucks and small tippers and that sort of thing for many years. And they actually were very smart units that they were building in the 1980s through into the 90s. They had previously very successful models and they kept up the spirit, and nice to see some examples back into as new condition.
Now we're back to the little Bedfords again, engine number C19. This is a 1938 Bedford WS drop side truck. It was first used for the delivery of motor parts up and around the Manchester area until purchased by Mr. Bowen, not called in 1988, and it's been rallied in his colours ever since.
Almost the end of this group.
Ford Model T pickup. And it was originally a three-door storeroom, was converted to a pickup in America. And it came over to this country in 1998. Ford Model T became a very, very popular vehicle. Thank you very much.
Another heavy haulage item. It's a very heavy frame with all the bits and pieces on it. This is one of their sole selection from Porsche. It's the 1990 Baron of the locomotive. A very heavy haulage engine, originally one of a series designed during the First World War for the War Department, and sort of running to the end of the war because they stopped having a war as they went into general servitude. This one had a mixed use in heavy haulage and also spent some time as a fairground engine with all the extra decorative bits and pieces on it. And it's been with the present owners now for nearly 20 years and it's actually now convertible.
They eventually gave up and went back onto the rally field and went to bed for the night, and they were still struggling trying to get these wheels out of the ditch because they're not light, they're definitely not light.
We've got another Scammer arriving.
Company were not one of the most prolific builders of large vehicles, but here's one of their examples. 1962 FHK has again as a breakdown truck. It's got a very rare Austin underfloor engine and has been used as a recovery vehicle from the 1970s. Steve Gregory's the owner of this one, up from Foxy in Hampshire. Very, very nicely restored vehicle.
Another one of those strange things. Still,
this one won't have a tilt cab either.
this is a spar shop with a soldier one. Now the Dennis company have always been renowned for their fire engines. I must admit when this design of engine, fire engine came out, it must be 20 years ago now, right? Exactly. It was an absolute revolution. I had to go around the factory and see it. Never seen brake system like it. Any type of vehicle. They were making this bits of kit. They have served very well, but of course even the fire engine has a life, and now they're beginning to pass out of service.
Made in 1998 and spent all its working life down at Dorset fire and rescue service, and it served as Stirling's Newton on the second pump. When it left service, it only had 12,000 miles on the clock. Nothing for a vehicle like that.
When you think of what that vehicle cost to buy, and what it could do, it was wasted, wasn't it? Yes. Well, we just quickly there saw a
Land Rovers.
yes. And now we have a Scania 110
This is 1973 and supplied new to a haulier down in Bristol that year, and spent most of its working life on general haulage, and is now part of the McGovern fleet, with the preserve fleet. It's undergone a full restoration, and this is its first time to come down here to Brighton on the run.
and looking really good as well. F14 is another Scammell, going back a little bit now, with what was known as the Michelotti designed cab. It's actually a fiberglass cab, and a lot of that, what appears to be decorative ribs all around it, is actually the strength pin that holds the whole thing together. The British Leyland Group, which included Scammell, used them on both their Leylands and Scammell models, and an extremely successful vehicle. Probably a Leyland 600 engine underneath there. This one is just a tractor unit, and it's got a step trailer carrying the restored early JCB, and they're a thing now that people are actually going for and seeking to find, particularly if it's firms that are in the plant business.
That is very, very nicely restored, that JCB. That is beautiful. And the cab on the lorry, in actual fact, is fiberglass, and that was the actual start of fiberglass bodies, really. I think Scammell were one of the first people to start using it. Another round of steamers, another round of motors.
Yes, this one, entry R9, 1932 type. Came towards the end of the production of these vehicles. They did build some rather more advanced steam lorries, but this is the traditional locomotive style boiler, and this one was fitted out for timber work. So on the back there, there will be a winch which can be driven on the swing. And the notice soft solid tyres as well. Probably all poetry. Very nice train design. Again, the right style for a vehicle of this sort. Owned by Simon known as the Mighty Atom. Very early presentation of this one. Back in the late 1950s, it was very well known that it came to life with several owners during the 60s.
So the 1946 Bedford O-type tractor unit and trailer. Nice views of family textiles, you can see on it there. And it stayed there until 1953. When it went to a garage owner up in that area. And they actually fitted a breakdown body with a crane on it. But nice to see it's actually been restored back to the tractor unit that it originally was. Now we've got H3, which is one of our fire appliances, and this one it's a Mayland, spent all its working life with up in Scotland, with the Aberdeen City Fire Brigade. It's a closed type body for carrying the crew on it, and there you can see the ladder up on the top. that, that's the number of built. Transport heavy haulage taxi units, and this one's got a 150 Gardner engine. It started life as an articulated unit for a Huntsford workshop, that was here, and then changed to a ballast tractor. And like a lot of these vehicles, they were used on the fairground for heavy hauling the heavy fairground loads around.
One of the more recent ones that don't really come out like 98 HCVS. On the popular they, of course, would have done a lot of longer distance haulage work with trailers, and ERF as a name has now disappeared. They linked up with MAN on the continent. Effectively, the later ERS were abandoned MAN.
Now another vehicle in the Penson fleet, another AC Matador timber tractor of 1941, and this one was driven for its entire commercial working life. They ran a massive timber business for many, many years.
Literally thousands of hours getting this back very accurately to its proper original form, and he finally got it onto the road about 18 months ago, and the target of course was to do a Brighton with it, and well, he's done it.
Brilliant. Kings apparently never threw anything away. When they finished using it, they just parked it up in the yard and that was it. When eventually they had for sale, engines like that you couldn't get at them because they put buildings up in front. And a lot of those bits that remained had to be craned out over the hedge onto a low loader after you bought it at the auction.
That's one of them. Now,
that is one of them, yeah.
And the double deck bus that's followed in is a very familiar vehicle to this town, because it was actually used by the Brighton Corporation Transport Department from 1939 through to about 1963. They had a lot of trolley buses with a similar design bodywork in this town, which unfortunately have all disappeared. But bus 63, one of the motor buses that they used on the lesser used routes, did fortunately pass into preservation. This one actually served on the Route 52. I remember them well, living in this town and actually riding on those vehicles. It ran to seat up back in I remember it well on some of the earliest Brighton runs in the 1960s, when Capital Michael Fryhurst both preserved it carefully.
Leyland's, of course, always been very well known for building really superb vehicles. This one has come up from Bideford down in Devon. It's started its life as a demonstrator for the Leyland. It was a Leyland Octopus, and it was then supplied to Marley's, probably Marley's the tile people, and it made a purchase from Frank Tibbers and Sons for potato and coal haulage. Came out of the scrapyard in 1970, now beautifully preserved.
The Leyland from very popular thing after the war. It's called vehicles, and make those top buses for utility selection. Like having things on them for their own top buses. On this 1935 Leyland company, where the later days of his life, run by David Ford, knowing on the track. And these Leylands were well into the 1960s, and that's another vehicle I remember in service.
Martin Cross has gone through with his 1983 Bedford TL, and this one has got the body on the back of it. It's much earlier than the vehicle. The vehicle was 83, but the body on the back of it is a livestock container. That dates from 1961. that came from a farm down in Somerset and restored back onto the vehicle in memory of the current owner's father, who started his business in the early 50s doing this sort of work. Vehicle that you don't really think of, or I certainly don't think of actually being eligible for this, but of course it's the Ford Cargo, 1989 this one dates from, and the Ford Cargo it came after we've had the D-Series through, and the Cargo was their next model on. This is Michael Turner from Upfield, and very, very nicely restored vehicle.
Very nice to see that one, very restored. Followed by 1946 Morris Z-type GPO post office polygrams license van. This one very fully equipped, got all the gear on board, and another one that is well known to the part of the world.
Another Ford Model T. This one dating from 1916 and owned by Tom Collard from Liston, Hampshire, and it was actually purchased by the owner's father from Moors of Brighton in 1916, and it worked on the family farm until the Second World War, when the driver went off to war. The vehicle was put to one side and not used again until it was brought into preservation.
That's another tractor unit, this time a Popen S20. Brought along by Tony Knowles from March in Cambridgeshire, another person whose name is very well known on the Brighton run and on its trophies. This is a 6x4 tractor unit with the Pope and engine, two-stroke engine, which again is a very distinctive thing when you hear it working hard, and a completely all-focus unit, this one. Beautifully restored as Tony's vehicles always are.
Now one of the famous London buses, the AEC Route Master of 1968. This is entered by the London Bus Museum, and it was the last Route Master to be built and continued in daily use until it was replaced on loan by, or put on loan to Stagecoach to the London Bus Museum in 2013. It's been fully renovated inside and out, and you can see it at the museum, whereas their museum now, of course, is at Brooklands as well. So this vehicle is one of the most well-known vehicles to travel around London.
B4 is the Bedford short-wheelbase CA model with a Roman caravan conversion. One of the earlier of the caravan conversions on these smaller vans. The Bedford CA was an extremely popular vehicle. Literally thousands of them on the road. Almost anybody who had a van had a Bedford at some stage. And the doors probably fell off with the rust as well, like the one I had. This one is gibberish, handwork and all things. Probably survived with a mileage of 29,000 because it was built up as a camper van.
That's followed by the 1965 AEC Reliance coach, and it's got a 41-seat Harrington Grandier coachwork on it. And it's one of the rarer, shorter 31-foot models. It's got an AEC 470 engine and a 6-speed constant mesh transmission. Delivered to Hutchins, a company called Hutchins and Cornelius down in South Petherton, and very, very nicely restored, now owned by Falcon Buses, coaches up at Brighton.
And now one of the very interesting and rare municipal vehicles. This is a Leica L road sweeper dating from 1920, entered by Des Maybury from Brighton. The Leica company started live marketed Albion lorries in London, hence their office was in Longacre and they called it Leica. They then went into actually constructing specialised vehicles. Road sweepers were one of their specialities for many, many years. These rather uniquely designed three-wheelers were very popular. And this one actually was brought back by the Leica company just in the 1950s. It was restored, in fact, I think it was a bit later than that. I remember it coming for the first time on a London Brighton run, probably in the late 70s. It's nice to see it back on the road, and I hope this can get that one up to scratch like it was when Lakers were operating. Unfortunately, it had a bit of an unfortunately intermediate life.
We've got a group of fire appliances, H6, the one coming at the moment. It's an ex-Surrey Fire Brigade, and Dennis, built in 1951. It's one of 10 pump escapes that was supplied new to Surrey Fire Brigade, and the station that served it to the fire station. You don't think of Surbiton as being in Surrey, you think of it being in London now, but in those days it was. It's a very busy station, and this pump escape attended many fires, including embankment fires, chimneys and house fires. And now rebuilt with its Rolls-Royce, children's Rolls-Royce P80 engine fitted to it. Following that is another appliance again, which is Surrey Fire Brigade, and this is owned by Alan Greenwood, and this is a 1958 Austin FE, and it's a foam salvage tender. This was new to Surrey and stationed at Epsom Station, and it was used mainly for flooding and protection properties. It would carry heavy pumps and that on board, and it even attended a plane crash in Hawley during its working life. And of course, being foam, that's the sort of price you would use for aircraft fires. Nobody trying to put it about with water, you have to smother the whole thing with foam. And this would carry the containers of the concentrate for the foam, and it would be mixed with the water to put out the fire. Now, this is another one again, an Surrey. This is 97 SPK, and this one with Surrey, which was one of a batch of 20 F24s overseas. Very, very fast machine, these. Everybody that's ever owned one said they are one of the best vehicles that Dennis has ever built. The only surviving example of what's been in preservation since the 1980s. Again, it's another one of these that's been in films, and one owned by Alan Greenwood. Very, very nice typical one. Of course, Dennis's, absolutely well known fire appliance building. Sadly, all gone completely now from Guildford. On a personal note, 97 SPK, I can still see that now, sat in Stoke Road, Guildford, outside a house, and it was sort of like, it was parked in the car park into the house, but it was really just off the edge of the pavement, or on the pavement. It sat there for many, many years, looking very, very tired. Red paint, of course, is one of the worst for fading, and this one, absolutely splendid.
And we've got that taxi good across the morning, because the taxi group this year is one of the more impressive vehicles one example. As I mentioned earlier, the use of taxi is highly controlled. Possibly one of only two of its type still to be on the road.
Now, ERF, first ERF we had, 1979. ERF stands for Edwin R. Foden. We were part of the Foden family, and this one started its working life down in Plymouth, and then went down to a company in Viscard, and then later on to Hughes, before it was brought back and restored in the colours of Beresford, a company which the present owners had a huge interest in since 1982. And the Mercedes, and its left-hand drive as well. Newbies of New Haven, a tractor unit, Mercedes-Benz, of course, a German manufacturer, and they produce some very, very nice lorries. This one obviously was really kept for Continental use, being left-hand drive. L6, their AEC coach.
Yeah, back home as well. Harrington's, who built the bodywork, operated in Hove, and this is one of their later projects, 1964. It has come up in Cornwall with what Thomas and Norton, and all his working life down in the West Country. It still retains most of its original paper. It's quite remarkable. James Key Reliance chassis, probably the best coach chassis available in the early 1960s. Very popular, the longest standing for tourist work, such as the Continental Page. So, comparing to the Continental Tourer.
Mini, 1978 Lane and Mini pickup. And this was actually spotted by the present owner's 15-year-old son sitting on a driveway with a for sale notice on it. And he must have worked his magic and persuaded his dad to buy the thing. And they purchased it. They had no idea it would take 20 years before it was back on the road, at which time it undergone a full restoration. How nice it looked. It's been on a few trips, and one of its first trips out was to go right over to the Antrim coast in Northern Ireland. B14, another of the Bedford HA post office telephone vans. Fully restored post office telephone van, complete with internal bracket with a ladder and everything, starting on wheels from Heathfield.
Well, mail van is the Austin Brighton Jack 4. They were bad customer ones in those days, but especially I didn't. They were Austin on Brighton. That one is oil free. It has possibly maybe 2 of them.
G11 is a 96 Scania, 64 tractor unit. Purchased brand new by McGovern's. We've seen some of their vehicles before and had it from brand new in 1996 and spent it by hauling waste out of various contractors in London. Retired in 2011. And restored in-house, and again this is another one spending its first time here down at Brighton.
And Scotty here again, and LB 110 tractor unit, 1974. Starting about that. You know, there was a Fathom and anyway, Danny Lynch from London has got this one, which was Scotch Whisky Company, Men's Company in Scotland, from you, and this is a later restoration in the early part of this century, and it was talked over in 1990, makes a nice job of finishing that also.
Now a little Reliant, 1953 Reliant Reason 600 weight van, little 3-wheel van, looks a bit like a motorcycle when you look at the front wheel stuck out there with the springing arrangement. This was first registered in 53 with London County Council. It passed through 6 different owners until it was acquired by Kathleen Broken from Headquarters Kent. Now brings it along today.
Absolutely terrifying to drive. I never regret right bit. Around the drainage service.
And the only thing they could carry was a set of drain rods, I think. They wouldn't go much else.
Now we have an option A35 pickup with a very common version. They designed things. Harry Douglas, Patrick Barker, one. He bought it about 10 years ago, and one of 497 little money. So, not surprisingly, it was in very poor condition. It's been and it's now in factory specification and in Austin services delivery.
Now 1965 Leyland Octopus tanker, and it's nice to see one actually still kept as a tanker, because you can't really use them much to take to a rally. You've got nowhere to sleep in it, you've got to take something else with you for sleeping accommodation. So a lot of them get cut off on a flatbed and put on the back, and they can sleep somewhere on the back, or a box body. So this one was supplied new to Shell, based up in the Leeds area, and around 1970 it was sold off, but the National Bus Company and their Bristol depot had it as a field bowser. Came into preservation and restored by the present owner in 2010. Both again now with an FG 615 8-wheeler. Now this is a proper lorry. Keith French from Armourwood has done the restoration work on this one. These are the things that you used to see trucking up the main roads in the 50s and 60s with a great big sheeted load on the back. A really fine sight. They probably didn't go all that fast, but God, they did the work. That one was actually serving with these brickworks. And they went to a showman. The showman was very much like these roads. Obviously their equipment. Lord Bullington, owner, 2002. You would. That's followed by a 1967 Ford Anglia van, and it's only covered 40,000 miles in its whole life, and it is completely in original condition. One's Ford Samuel from Colgate, and I actually passed my driving test in one of these little Ford Anglia vans. Everything is a voice commercial seems like it's nice for one other, equipped with a breakdown lorry. The voice commercial in the 20s brought out the Model T as a commercial chassis, and it was an immediate success for all types of small trucks and vans. It was not unusual for one to get converted to a breakdown lorry later in its life. There's a considerable number of them that survived actually. And this one was found locked up in a garage. Apparently it was a firm of an SE Builders, but it only supplied the chassis and the stuff engine. If it's these lorries, this one's in Water Department,
That's where you are, and that's
Check that out, won't we? Yeah, it's not.
Nice. I did.
leave in front of you, Daddy, because someone's going to lose my ball. Right, here we go then.
I'm hoping my speech is the right time.
And couldn't stop and drove into the New Haven band centre with Facebook.
Leave her alone. Let her sleep.
That's just a van, I think.
Daddy, that one's
Wow. Ta-da!
Give me the seafront any day.
Whoa, let's look at this one. This one's got a really big boil.
Thank you.
would agree. That's all support.
What for the barrel engine off, is it?
Guarantee you, Jimmy's got a car and he I think we're there here.
Oh, Mr. Mormon. Hello. Well done.
What happened was
Hello.
Yeah, good. It's got more furniture in it.
I saw it a little while ago. It's tough. They charge me £7 for a slice of cake in the Red Cross. You know what? This is not exactly what you want to
Some places I'll tell you. Yeah. Tell you what, I've just come back from Crete and there's a load of MMANs still over there, you know, in Crete. Yeah. Yeah, Zanti were best for them old, the older MANs, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that is. Or probably like.
Okay.
Yes, you can.
So I wait 6 months because it's still
Oh no, this is
Wonderful. Very wonderful.
I'll actually buy it. But breakfast, you know, go up
Literally Manchester New Hampshire, it says limited.
Bye-bye.
You've got have you got any Let's just walk. Is it hard enough? Thank you. You too.
Thanks, nice to meet you.
It's quite good down. Again, I mean, it's all well.
No, it was nice. Well, that being.
His father was still alive.
One of the first ones that they came. We held taxi in her.
Oh, I can see Colin now.
Somebody changing air filters.
You taught me that one, Simon. I didn't know on eBay.
Yum, yum, yum.
Did you put down? How did you know? Did you put down? I don't know.
Are you not hungry right now?
6:30 there earlier. Oh, yeah.
See these goes well.
What's that?
That's good.
Right, Class R, which is the steam wagons and tractors.
Second place, Simon Webb, with the Proposal D-type timber tractor, 49, Bedford K-type for Doncaster.
A lot of competition. The best then is
But the best Dennis goes to entry number 86, 1951, N12, Pump Estate of Christopher Bolster.
after the best Dennis, we go to the best Ford.
The best Ford goes to entry number E6, 1980 Ford G-Series of Peter Exel. Have we got Peter? Best guy goes to, name on please to be reading out. C20, the 1939 Guy Wall, Derek Webb.
How much is a skip lorry now?
Best
Christ.
1957 Raven Tiger Cub coat, the furthest one.
Right, Granddad's going to go back up. He won his class. You just heard it. All right then. Okay, we'll see you there. Bye, bye, bye.
I'm proud of you. Come round and come and collect the prize.
Best vehicle 3,1939.
Right, best vehicle built between 1920 and 1929 goes to entry number A1, the 1912 Bellside van, Richard Peskin.
Best vehicle built between 1930 and 45.
You'll be driving Bristol Fields, wouldn't you?
That goes to entry number R9, 1932 Motor Design.
Why did you change the wheel?
No, it was working coming from some. This post-war vehicle is number E6, 1949 Bedford K type of John Castle.
Just on the top log now.
Best single-decker passenger vehicle L6, 1964, aged in Reliance Coat with Roger Thomas.
Didn't need to be. No one's going anywhere.
Another winner goes to L9, 1976 Bristol VRT double-decker Colin Billington.
We haven't.
Yeah. When you
Wonderful. Wonderful.
My neighbour comes down.
Is it public one?
Right, you can go back in there.
It's undeniable.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Watch out for the thing. Just got
Thank you.
Watch out for the what?
For the thing.
She messages me like every now and then, like, you alright? I'm fine.
Oh yeah, can.
That's open? No, it's closed them all off.
You want me to pop to the shop? ये ट्रेन आ रही हमारे ना ट्रेन
لا مش موقع اصلا اذا بدك تعرفين حدا يعرف بهيك المواقف
بالضبط
ترجع قولي لي
How are you? Do you have a good weekend? Oh, it's good.
brochures are going to be open. Yes and no. Like, just trying to make friends. Like, we're not going to be friends. No. You explicitly told him, hey, I don't care for friends that much. He's like, yeah, but I don't care so much.
Just stay here for another hour, Mitch. Have you got loads of pictures, Lester?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Daddy, lift me up.
No, yeah, 7:10.
Come on, you two, keep going, look. Both of you.
Listen to this. The best thing about classic cars is the price. It makes the car.
Okay.